Welcome to BearZone. I'm Brittany Wiley.
And I'm Joe Buchanan. Coming up, two important players in the UNC basketball programs are headed out. We'll tell you who.
Also, the Avalanche are continuing their playoff run. But how are they doing?
We've got all that and more this week on BearZone. Don't go anywhere.
It's a tough day for Northern Colorado women's basketball. On Sunday, head coach Cami Etheridge announced she's leaving the program to take a head coaching job at Washington State. Etheridge came to UNC in 2014 from Kansas State, where she spent time as an assistant and associate head coach. But K-State wasn't her first coaching job. Following an illustrious playing career that earned Etheridge a spot in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, she made her coaching debut as a graduate assistant at Texas. She also spent time at Northern Illinois and Vanderbilt, who made a Final Four appearance during her time there. Etheridge formed another competitive team in the UNC Bears. In her 4 seasons, the Bears have an overall record of 83-44, with 1 Big Sky regular season title, 1 Big Sky championship, and a 2018 appearance in the NCAA tournament. It's a tough day for the Bears to lose such a great coach, but we wish Etheridge the best of luck at Washington State.
It has been 29 years since an NBA team drafted a UNC Bear, but we could see another one in this year's draft. Junior guard Jordan Davis announced via Twitter on April 11th that he would, quote, test the NBA waters by declaring for the 2018 draft without an agent. Jordan averages 16 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. And those are traditionally low numbers to be successful in the draft. But he's nationally recognized for his highlights this season, including a dunk that made it on SportsCenter's top 10. By not signing with an agent, Davis can return to UNC if no team picks him up. Both Davis and Bears MVP Andre Spite will try their luck in the draft this year, and we wish them well. The University of Northern Colorado men's baseball team struggling to score runs. Sounds familiar, right? Well, those struggles continued Friday night in Sacramento. The Bears' bats never woke up as the Hornets of Sacramento State were able to grab the 5-0 victory over the Bears in the two teams' first game of a 3-game set. Hornets starter Parker Brahms set the tone for Sacramento State as he pitched 7 scoreless innings, giving up just 2 hits and striking out a phenomenal 14 Bears batters. The Bears finished the night with just 2 hits, 2 of those coming courtesy of senior catcher Alex Keel. Combine those 2 hits with 15 strikeouts as the bats just couldn't catch fire against Sacramento State pitching. The Hornets offense had a much better night, collecting 6 hits while blasting 2 home runs by Vinny Esposito and PJ Floyd. The loss to start the series pushes the Bears' record to 19-15 and moves their conference record to 3-7. Luckily for the Bears, the turnaround was quick as they had the opportunity to get some revenge on the Hornets in the second game of the series Saturday night.
After that 5-0 loss Friday night, the UNC baseball team got some much-needed revenge Saturday with a 5-2 victory over Sacramento State. The Bears rode a strong performance from starting pitcher Aaron Hamilton, who went 7 strong innings striking out 8 batters and giving up only 4 hits. Hamilton kept the Bears in the game as the bats remained cold till the 7th inning when the Bears finally broke through. After being no hit for the first 6 innings, the Bears loaded the bases after singles by Evan Johnson, Jack Pauley, and Tyler Yamaguchi. That's when junior infielder Brett Minnick stepped to the plate. He came through with a bases-clearing double, giving the Bears a lead they wouldn't surrender. After 2 runs by the Hornets in the bottom of the inning, the Bears tacked on 2 more in the top of the 9th and finished the night with a 5-2 victory. Hamilton picked up his 4th win of the season, while Connor Lidon picked up his 8th save of the year, pitching 2 strong innings in relief. The victory pushed the Bears' record to 20-15 and 4-7 in WAC conference play. It also allowed the Bears a chance to win the series when the 2 teams met yet again on Sunday.
The match game between the UNC and Sacramento State proved to be all too familiar for the Bears. The Bears lost 5-0 for the 2nd time in 3 games as the offense just wouldn't click again for the boys in blue and gold. The Bears bats went cold and a couple of fielding errors were all the Hornets needed to escape Sunday afternoon with a series victory over the Bears. Bears starting pitcher Keenan Lum walked the first 3 batters of the game. Two UNC errors then allowed the Hornets to take a 3-0 lead that they'd never surrender. Even though the Bears out-hit Sacramento State 6-2, the errors and 8 runners left on base for UNC just proved too costly. Sacramento State pitchers Scott Randall and Austin Roberts combined to strike out 13 and did a solid job limiting the Bears offense all afternoon. For the Bears, 6 hits came courtesy of Matt Burkhart and Dean Lawson, while Peyton Tapia and Brett Minnick each recorded a hit to round out the Bears offense for the day. This was the second game in the series where the Bears bats went cold, and the loss pushes their record to 20-16 and 4-8 in WAC conference play. The Bears headed home Tuesday afternoon to face Air Force.
It was a windy day at Jackson Field on Tuesday, and it didn't play in the Bears' favor. Air Force hit 3 home runs in the first 2 innings, eventually defeating UNC 17-9. The two teams combined to score 12 runs in the first 3 innings, with the Falcons leading 7-5 after 3. Air Force scored 3 in the first, courtesy of back-to-back homers by Nick Reddy and Rob Dow. But the Bears batted around in the bottom half, scoring 5 runs to take the lead. Starter Gavin Gurrell couldn't record a shutdown inning as Drew Wiss hit the Academy's 3rd big fly of the game to give them a 7-5 lead. UNC got within 1 in the 4th on an RBI single by Jack Pauley, but that's when the Falcons busted the game wide open. Air Force scored 10 runs in the next 3 innings, propelling them to victory. With the loss, the Bears fall to 20-17 on the season. Their 5-game homestand continues this weekend when they host New Mexico State. It was another tough weekend for the Bears softball team. UNC got swept in a doubleheader by Portland State Saturday at Gloria Rodriguez Field. The Vikings won Game 1 12-4 behind a strong start from Alyssa Burke. PSU batted around in back-to-back innings, putting up crooked numbers in both frames. Bears starter Valerie Vidal struggled through 2+ innings, allowing 4 runs. UNC finally answered in the bottom of the 4th on Rachel Johnson's RBI single, and the Bears tried to keep the game from ending in the 8-run rule. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th, highlighted by RBI doubles by Kaylee Garcia and Lauren Page. But the rally fell short, giving the Vikings the 12-4 win. Game 2 was a pitching duel with Burke and Vidal squaring off again. Both pitchers threw complete games, and it was Vidal's 17th of the season. UNC took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd on Rachel Johnson's solo home run and added another run in the 3rd. The Bears led 2-1 in the 7th, but the Vikings scored 2 with 2 outs to earn the comeback win. With the series loss, the Bears are now only 1 game over 500 at 23-22. They stay on the road with the series at North Dakota this weekend.
There's an old saying in golf, the most important shot is the next one. This saying holds true for UNC's men's golf team, who finished 9th in the El Macero Classic this weekend. UNC improved its team score each round for the tournament to finish its season on a high note. On the first day of the tournament, the Bears shot .318 as a team. Kobe Welch led the way, shooting 76, but Welch and the Bears' efforts would not be enough. It wasn't until day 2 that the Bears cracked the top 10. UNC lowered its score by 9 strokes on the second day to shoot .309, with Welch leading the way once again. This time, Welch shot 71 on the day, with teammate Sam Marley right behind him shooting 77. The Bears shot their best round yet on the final day of the tournament, surpassing 8 of their 13 opponents. The Bears shot an impressive .302, with Welch leading the way yet again with a score of 73. Welch had an excellent tournament, shooting just .220 on 3 rounds. Teammates Marley and Josh Matz followed Welch's lead, shooting .233 and .236 respectively. The Bears head to Boulder City, Nevada next Friday for the Big Sky Tournament. Spring makes the weather a little bit unpredictable. What predictions do we have for this weekend's weather?
Hi, I'm meteorologist Michaela Lucero. Right now in Greeley, 66 degrees with winds at 18 miles per hour. Now, Greeley's at a red flag warning right now because of those high winds, and that's going to last from now until 8 p.m. tonight. Now, those winds are dangerous because they can blow over power lines, light posts, and even get some of those road signs. So be sure if you're out tonight that you're extra careful. For our 8 a.m. classes, we'll be at 45 degrees, 48 for our 9 a.m. classes, and 51 degrees for our 10 o'clock classes. Now, those winds will still be extra strong, so be sure to bring a jacket tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for more.
For the first time in 4 seasons, the Colorado Avalanche are in the race for the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, things aren't looking so hot for the Avs as they take on the Nashville Predators. After 4 games, the Avalanche are down for the count, 3-1. They struggled in the first 2 games in Nashville, but it looked like home ice really did make a difference. On Monday, the Avs took the ice at the Pepsi Center and skated away with the 5-3 victory. Then last night, it seemed home wasn't so lucky. The Avs fell to the Predators 3-2 to put the Predators within just 1 game of eliminating the Avs. The teams head back to Nashville tomorrow for Game 5. Puck drop is at 7:30 p.m.
The Denver Nuggets season ended on a sour note last week as the team was eliminated from playoff contention with a 112-106 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. In a winner-take-all game, the Nuggets lost a heartbreaker to the T-Wolves and couldn't secure a playoff berth for the 5th straight season. The Nuggets forced overtime in Minnesota and even had the chance to win the game during the closing seconds of regulation, but it just wasn't Denver's night. Timberwolves star Jimmy Butler scored 7 of the Wolves' 11 points in overtime and proved to be just too much for the Nuggets team that looked gassed in overtime. Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic still had an incredible night, though, for the Nuggets, scoring a game-high 35 points while also hauling in 10 rebounds. Jokic's night was highlighted by a 17-point third quarter that helped will the Nuggets to an almost victory in the final game of the season. As the Nuggets season ends on yet another tough note, one thing still remains clear. The team is headed in the right direction. The Nuggets improved by 6 games in 2018 and made strides in another season under head coach Mike Malone. Malone returns next year in his 4th season with the team, which is shaping up to be playoffs or bust season. 2018 was the Nuggets' 2nd season in a row where they missed the playoffs by just 1 game, and it's something they'll need to prevent from happening next season. In what looks to be a busy offseason in Denver, the franchise needs to have one goal for the 2019 season, and that's making the postseason.
5-2 is not a bad way to finish a road series. BearZone reporter Adam Ide is here to tell us how the Colorado Rockies made it happen.
After a heated series with the San Diego Padres to finish their first homestand, the Rockies head to D.C. to take on the Washington Nationals. This series was much calmer. There was a video floating around where a Nationals fan caught a Rockies homer and a Rockies fan caught a Nationals homer, so the young fans traded balls. Even without Nolan Arenado, who was suspended 5 games after inciting a brawl last week, the Rockies won the series 3-1. Then it was on to a bitterly cold PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Rockies pulled off another series win 2-1 over the Pirates, even though the Rockies took Game 3 by a whopping 10-2. The Rockies are off today, but they kick off an exciting homestand tomorrow against the Chicago Cubs before the Padres return to the Mile High next week.
Let's hope we don't see any more suspensions next week. Tune in next week for our final update on the Rocks for the semester.
And that is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay up to date on our Twitter and Instagram pages, BearZone UNCO, and on YouTube, Bear News 98.
Make sure to like us and to join us every week for BearZone. All sports, all the time for UNC Athletics. Good night.